else here feels baited by the hotfix of patch 14.1? When I saw the notification come up on Steam, I was so excited, guys. I'm like, oh man, they're gonna finally, give some buffs out, especially to the Power Fist, to the Salamander Melter Rifle. And boy, was I disappointed. Not so much the Power Fist, but really on the new heroic Melter Rifle. I mean, they didn't even touch it. They didn't even mention anything about it. They just said send it. Now on paper, when I was reading the patch notes, the Power Fist on paper, it sounded so good. I really thought they were gonna fix it. But then I went to the battle barge, immediately went into the practice arena, and it still wasn't it. It was still slow, it was clunky. I was hoping that they would put the fire damage on your actual heavy charge shots instead of the light attacks. It is better now, but I would still I like heavy charge attacks are still superior in my opinion. I'm really trying to give this weapon a shot. So I threw it on, went to true absolute solo, really gave it a good college try. And a few things that were really sticking out to me that kind of hindered the weapon was not being able to chain those fire attacks together. I thought that's so bizarre, and I really wish that you would be able to chain them instead of just being a one and done. It feels so weird because with charged heavy shots, you're able to, chain all those attacks and it feels really fluid, compared to just doing it once and like you have to get out of that animation. It just doesn't feel great. When I was going through the operation, I also noticed that I tried very hard to use the fire attacks, but they just come out so slow and it just doesn't feel worth it. There's one thing that all my assault players will know right off the bat is that you need to learn how to trade in this game. And what I mean by trading is, okay, you imagine you're with a devourer, you're going 1v1 against a devourer. You don't have your ability ready. You don't have any grenades. You don't have any way to stun this devourer. And he's gonna sit there and spam his range attack at you. So what do? You got your Power Fist. Like, you have to sit there and trade with them. So you have to charge up your heavy attack, but you have to know that you're going to be taking damage, but you will be getting an execute out of that. So you're able to heal. And with fire attack on the new heroic Power Fist, you really can't do that. At least with that fire attack, it just doesn't do enough damage. Like, you have to let it burn, of course. That's the whole gimmick. But it's gonna get you killed. And I feel so bad of not prioritizing using the fire attack, because that's the whole point of this weapon. It kind of counterintuitive, because I end up just sitting there going back to my charge attacks, and then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, hey, why don't I just put on a block Power Fist? Why don't I just put on a regular balanced Power Fist? I think those are so much better than this thing. And that's not the only weapon I want to talk about today. There are a couple other weapons I really want to get into about it. So let's go to the next one. The Melta Rifle, the heroic Melta Rifle. Wow, man. I mean, all the feedback before this hotfix, everybody was talking about how it was underperforming, how it needed a buff. It takes a whole clip just to get a Majora's down, or just a regular Majora's down in absolute. It is underperforming so much. I think people were very surprised that it did not get anything in this hotfix. I was too. I was actually kind of stunned. And I think that this weapon is going to be left for dead. Same with the one-handed bolt carbine. They did give it a buff. It's a buff, a little buff. Man, it needs more though. It only gave it another magazine. That's it. And it needs a damage boost. It needs more ammo, at least. I want to love the new heroic Melter Rifle. It's very lore accurate. I think that's what was so appealing to everybody, but then it comes out really not that great. It's such a cool concept. It's just like the power fist, like the concept is there, it's very cool, but it just doesn't work right now. The utility on the heroic melter rifle is very cool. You do use it for stunning from quite a far distance. And now on to the one-handed bolt carbine. I really like this gun. I really like it. It's super fun. It has fantastic CHP. It's very good for that. It's good for horde clearing, and it looks cool. I think it looks really cool on an assault or a bulwark. I'm a big fan how that looks, but it is kind of slacking on ammo and damage. Like, this weapon is really meant for horde clearing and for barrel stuffing. Now, I have a little bit of problem with that. If you're horde clearing with this thing, like, you kind of don't want to horde clear with it because you want to save its ammo, for your CHP recovery, especially on bulwark and assault. That's your CHP recovery right there. And you don't want to waste that precious ammo on just some minoris, like, you want to make it count. You want to use it on bigger stuff. You need to know that you're gonna trade with it. I don't know why Saber is so afraid to give this thing a buff. Like, I feel like they're kind of stringing us along, like, slowly trickling these buffs to the one-handed bolt carbine. It's been out for quite a bit now, and they're just so scared to buff this thing. I don't know why. I mean, it'd be so much easier if they over buffed it and then, kind of, really balance it, find that really good line. I really like Saber. They're a great development company. They have a great track record. If you guys didn't know, like, they have a really good post-launch track record. Like, they're always updating their older games, like World War Z. That game's still getting updated today. It's very old already. So I'm super glad, this is their game, and we are getting updates quite frequently, even though there is a huge, downtime in between updates. They come out pretty good though, at least. I'm not really a big fan of how they're treating some of these weapon buffs, just kind of, sprinkling them in between big patches. The salamander melter rifle didn't even get a buff with the hotfix, and I'm worried for it because I think that might be it for that gun. Like, I do think that's gonna end up being forgotten. Same with the power fist. It's like, how do you fix that without reworking the whole gimmick of the weapon? I thought they had done that in the hotfix, but they didn't, and I am worried because it's gonna end up being like the heroic sniper rifle. That is a very strong gun. Don't get me wrong. It's just that they nerfed a specific perk because of that weapon, and now it's not as fun to use. Like, it's very cracked out on a very good player, but it's usually good for just Tyranids. It's not as fun against Chaos unless you're Sigismund himself. I'm not holding out for another hotfix. I don't think we're gonna get another hotfix, guys. I think it's just we're gonna have to wait till patch 15 to see, any weapon buffs. But by patch 15, who knows what'll be at by then. We're seeing Chaos Siege leaks. We're seeing that tactical rework leak. So if anybody has seen that yet, that's pretty interesting. That's pretty cool. I'm actually really excited about that one. We're gonna see that third faction, Ultramarines, in Chaos Siege. We've seen some leaks on executions for those, so that's also very exciting. The new champion skin for Bulwark is gonna be a Space Wolf with that round shield. Oh, that round shield has got me going crazy. Oh my god, I'm jumping up and down in excitement. I cannot wait to get my hands on that thing. So yeah, I hope these weapons get some love in patch 15. I don't see them doing another hotfix anytime soon. I think patch 14.1 is going to be the only hotfix we see for for that. So hopefully these weapons don't get left behind. Bye.
Us no more. But the Imperium is indomitable. So-and-so, shield your mind. We eliminated the shrouded menace. Releasing, I'm airborne ready. Reloading magazine. Another alien falls to the Imperium's key blade. grass of alien chitin molder and rot. Reloading magazine.
I cannot land with that burrowing abomination lurking about. Deep scans have penetrated the atmospheric disturbances and Metrium's meddling code. Trigon vulnerability data pushed to your displays.
The Imperium demands the Trigon's extermination.
Concentrate firepower on the brakes in its chitin plating.
Eyes up, brothers. Be ready to avenge. Swapping magazine. Feel those surging hive tunnels.
Return belt to charge at once.
Sterilize these burrows of Xenos. Leave no unholy aberration alive, brothers. Meltify will cauterize and fuse their tunnels shut.